welcome back to my version. We are back in the sewing area table. Today we're going to make a Pokeball pillow bag. So it's going to be a pillow and it's going to have a little pocket in it for your phone and your chargers and everything. I figured this is probably a good idea, and I didn't realize that Pokemon Go is going to be released so soon. So I have made nothing of these yet, so I'm super excited. So what we're going to need first, we're going to need our fabric. So I'm making a regular Pokeball, so I'm going to use the red and the white. The black and the gray are going to be for the band of the ball as well as the button on the front. We're also going to need the pattern that we're going to use. You need your pins. You're going to need your threads. So I have thread for each color. I'm going to use Velcro to actually seal this one shut. Scissors, I've got a couple pencils just in case I need them. And stuffing, and you're also going to use your sewing machine too. Or you can sew this by hand. It's probably a little bit quicker if you use your machine though. Okay, so I'm going to start with the smallest piece of the pattern, which is going to be the 2 circles. That's on the front of the Pokeball, I guess is a button. So we're just going to pin the 2 circles and cut them out. So this is of the gray fabric. If you have something lighter than this, it probably works a little bit better. But for me, it's either this or white. And there we go, the 2 circles of the button of the Pokeball. Oh my god. I'm just going to trim that a little bit more because it's a little janky. There we go. 2 circles, and I'm going to go ahead and pin them together right now. I'm probably going to sew those first since those are going to be the quickest ones to sew. So we're done with these. Put those aside. Garbage. Next I'll do the black pieces. So that's the other circle that goes behind these 2. And then also the center of the Pokeball. We just need one of the circles. There's one circle. And I'm just going to put it with the other 2 pieces, but I'm not going to pin it just yet. Now for this part, on the pattern that I've given you, it's going to be a 6.5 inch strip by 2.5 inches wide. You can do it that way and just put it on the fold on one piece. If you prefer to take 2 of them and put them together, make sure it's 13 inches long. And you need 3 of them. So I'm just going to make it 6.5 inches, and I'm going to do it on the fold just to show you how it's going to look. So I've folded the fleece over so you can actually see it is folded. It's not taken apart at all. And I've put the edge of that pattern piece right up against the edge of the fold. So you can't really see a lot of overlap. And just pin it in place, and we're going to cut 3 of them out. Now you're probably wondering why we're going to need 3. I will explain in a minute. Okay, so we've got our 3 pieces here. We're done with that pattern piece, so we can put that aside. And we're done with the black as well. Now we're going to do the red. Okay. So this piece, we're going to need both red and white for them. And we're going to need 6 each. And again, that will be explained in a bit, because obviously this is going to be bigger than just one sphere. But it will all come to light and it'll all make sense. Okay, so I'm going to fold it so that I can cut out 2 at a time instead of doing 6 individual ones. Alright, so we've got our red pieces. So we're done with the red, but we're not done with this piece yet. We're going to use this for the white too. So same thing with the white, we're going to cut out 6 pieces again. I have mine folded in half so I can cut out 2 at a time. Alright, so we have our white pieces, and now we are officially done with the pattern all together. We're done cutting. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pin everything together. So we're going to put all of these pieces in 2s. We're going to pin them right sides together. So that's both for the red and the white. And I've changed my mind a little bit on this. I'm going to go ahead and pin the black part to the 2 gray circles. What's going to happen with that is I'm actually just going to sew through all 3 layers for the middle one. It'll work out nicer. So I'm just going to pin the middle circle for now because I'm going to have to unpin it and then pin around the second circle after. So I'll do that part after I've sewn it. So for the white and the red parts, we're going all the way down one side only. So it's from the very tip to the very edge there. So then again for the red parts, we're doing just the one side. So now that everything's pinned, we can go ahead and grab our sewing machine. Before we start sewing, I'm also going to empty this because it's getting a bit full. So I've got my sewing machine here. I'm loaded up with my gray thread because the first thing I'm going to sew is actually these circles here, just because they're the tiniest thing, so I want to get them out of the way as soon as I can. As you can tell, I'm still using my mom's machine. I don't know what's wrong with mine, but it's not working. So what I'm going to do with the circles is I'm not going to do any kind of back stitching at all. I'm going to go as close as I can to the edge of the fleece. So when you're done with that, you just want to trim all of the threads off. And you want to cut them as close as you can to the fleece. Or if you're using another fabric, then whatever other fabric. You can also do this by hand, which might actually look a little bit better than this right now. The back part doesn't really matter how short you cut the threads, but just to make sure that there's no problems in the future, I'd rather just cut them nice and short now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-pin the outer circle. And I'm going to put it in a bunch so that it holds down the edge of the circle completely. And there we go, the button of our Pokeball. Kinda wish I had done it by hand. Not gonna lie. You can probably also hot glue it, and depending on what material you're actually using for this, I might suggest hot glue over sewing it. If you're using felt, you cannot go that close at all. It's gonna tear off like that, basically. It's like a butter thing. It's terrible. So we're gonna put this aside, and then we're gonna switch out our thread. I'm gonna so with the red portions here, we're gonna go ahead and sew each of the pairs together. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, since I don't really want to switch out my thread just yet, because I'm going to have to put it back to the red again anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pin these and sew these to the bottoms. If you don't really care about your thread matching or showing, then you can go ahead and sew the white ones right away. I just don't really like to do it. So I'm going to match up the middle of my black portions here with the seam of the two pieces that I've just sewn. And when I sew it, I'm going to make sure that the seam is actually spread open like that. As always, you're doing this right sides together. Now, it might be a little long on the sides. You can always just trim it down if you like. I'm going to leave mine for a little bit. So do that with all three pieces. So just along the straight edge, you want that pinned. Okay, so I just realized something. I'm sorry. I think I need 4 of these. So that will be correcting your patterns. I'm sorry for the miscommunication at the beginning of the video. You do need 4 of these. So I am actually going to go ahead and pin it, but I'm going to sneakily cut out another one. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and sew the white pieces. Okay, so we've got our 3 parts. So now we're going to put one of them aside. We're going to grab 2 of our red parts with the black rim on it. We're going to put them together. Let's go ahead and unfold the white portion. Mash it up right sides together again with the middle of the black. So you can use the other side to do that, or you can fold it again, whichever works for you. And you're going to do it the same way you did with the white. So you're going to actually mash it up with the edge, the straight edge. Okay, so we've got these 2 pinned together. Now if you're wondering why 2, I'll get there. Don't worry, haven't forgotten. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these ones. Alright, so now when we unfold these, hey, it's starting to look like a Pokeball. Except that's where things are going to get a little confusing and a little different. So with this last piece, this is the fourth piece of the black fabric, and the last piece of the white, we're actually going to pin this and sew this to the white portion. So this is the same way we did it with the red pieces, but it's to the white portion. So you probably guessed what I'm going to do next. Yeah, we're sewing it. So a quick run through of all the pieces we have right now. We've got our button. We've got a red piece with just the black strip on it. We've got a white piece with just the black strip on it. And then we've got the two pieces that actually have both the red and the white with the black strip. So now here's where it's going to get interesting. These two are actually the parts that are making up the outside of the pocket. And then these two are actually making up the pillow. So we're going to take one of the full pieces with the red and the white attached to the black strip. We're going to take the white piece first. And we're going to put it the inside of the white piece, so the wrong side, to the right side of the full piece. And you're going to match it up at the seam of the two white pieces. And you're going to put it all the way on the outside edge. So now that that's done, we're going to flip it around, and we're going to do the same thing with the white, or with the red piece. So again, match it up with the seam, and you want to pin these seams open. So we're going to do with the black portion, we're actually going to push those seams out again too. So each one is going to be open, and that's going to be on both sides of the fabric. And we're also overlapping the black piece that's attached to the red, as well as going over the white part. So we're going to sew all the way around on the red portion. If you can get the black part in there, that's great. If not, we'll get it eventually. So now we have the construction of the pocket of our Pokeball. So you can actually essentially pull it open, and you're going to see the inside of your Pokeball. Now, for the actual button itself, I don't want it on the side with the pocket. I want it facing out so that I can put it on the table and then have the pocket towards me with the button actually facing out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap out my thread right away, and I'm going to put it right on the front here. So I can go ahead and pin that right now. You also want to pay attention to the seams on the back. You want to push them open. They're not going to gather as much, and you're not going to have as much trouble sewing through them when you do that. There we go! Got our button on front of our Pokeball. Now what we're going to do is we're going to match up the red portions with the red portions, the black and the white. The first thing you want to do when you actually match these up and pin them together is you want to remember where you want your hook. Normally I would put it towards the bottom of something, but because it's white and I have a hard time hiding things on white, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the red part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin that part first. But for my holes, I always put a a longer pin and a shorter pin straight across. So that's where my hole is going to go, and then I'm going to put one pin on either side. So that marks where the actual hole goes, where I'm going to be pulling it through and stuffing it all together. And then for the rest of it, just match up the seams like we did before. So there's a lot of fabric here, so be very careful. I like to pin the seams first, this way it stays the way they need to stay. Okay, so now that I've got the seams all pinned up, I'm going to go ahead and just pin everywhere else. So remember, you're marking your hole and then just pinning everything else like you normally would. What I would do on something that's just a single color is I would actually start right here for where to sew, but because this is two colors, I'm actually going to start about here in the middle of the black, and then just sew all the way around the white part with the white thread. So I've already swapped out my thread. So now we're going to swap out the thread again. One thing you're going to notice too is when you're actually sewing through these really large seams here with all of the black and the white and the red all together, you're going to have to really pull your fabric through. So do it gently, but still kind of firmly. Okay, so we're going to start again around the middle of the black, and we're going to go ahead and sew all the way around just up to that first point of where your hole is. And then we'll lift it up and then continue on that last little bit. So some important notes for this hole here. 1, never put on a seam. It's gonna look bad. Just don't do it. 2, always backstitch around the edges of it. That's gonna make it a lot more stable when you actually try and pull it through, and it's gonna cause a lot less problems later on. Now we can go ahead and unpin everything. Once all your pins are out, go ahead and stick your hand through that hole that we just sewed open. Just grab wherever and pull everything through and push everything back out through that hole. We're almost done. So as you can see, I'm done with my sewing machine. I put it away. We can go ahead and stuff our Pokeball now. So same idea as stuffing pillows or anything like that. You want to get the farthest places first. And just fill it up as you go. Okay, so this pattern does look a little bit more like a capsule. That's because I really wanted it to be like a pillow that I could also put my phone and everything in. And I'm just going to add a tiny bit more right here. If you want yours to look more like a ball, go ahead and cut down just parts of the cut down parts of this, like maybe probably about 1.5 inches on each one, and it'll look more like a ball, because that's actually not taking into account any of this part of the pattern. And you can see that there's the pocket there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to seal it with our ladder stitch. It's going to be easier to start at the single side, so the front side of the Pokeball. Remember that stitch just hides everything kind of from sight there. There we go. Now, you can finish there, that's fine. The thing is, I'd like to make sure that this is nice and sealed. Like, I don't want it just open like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna add some Velcro to it. So what you wanna do is cut both pieces of Velcro the same length. You can use sew on Velcro for this. I'm just opting for sticky because I'm not too worried about it. I recommend not using your good fabric scissors for this, by the way. So I'm going to put the soft side on the on the inside on the bottom. So that's the black portion attached to the white. So peel off the back, and I'm just going to set it right in the middle. So now, an easy trick to get this other end in the right spot. Stick it on, and then peel off the back. There we go. So we peeled off the back, and then just very gently put the other black piece right over top, and you want to push it all down and together. If you are going to do Velcro, I recommend highly getting sew on Velcro because at least, depending on the fabric that you get, it might not stick very nicely. Then you can open it up, stick your phone in there, stick your charger in there, and then carry that around with you while you're playing Pokemon. Thanks for tuning in again to my version. This was a blast as always. Don't forget, you can always tweet me, Instagram me, what you're working on, tweet any questions you have, or anything that you might want me to make in the future. Definitely let me know, or you can comment below too. You can also go to my Facebook page, and then hopefully within the next month, I'm going to have a store up and running. So excited for that. I've been working so hard towards that between convention and the wedding and this, and it's been a busy couple months. Another thing I want to bring to your attention, if you are playing Pokemon Go, which if you're not and you're watching this video, I'm surprised at you, go start playing. If you are already playing, I highly recommend getting an app such as Rescue Walk that I'm using. I actually posted this on my Facebook a little while ago. Basically, I'm using it, and whenever I walk, it actually gives a little bit of support to a local shelter, so an animal shelter. I'm actually walking right now for Manitoba Mutts. I know a lot of people that work with the organization, and they do great. They do great work for stray animals and rescue animals, and it's great. I love it. Another thing is, remember to keep the areas that you go clean. If you want to bring some garbage bags with you, great. Clean up after people if you have to. If you don't want to, just make sure that you and your friends and your family, everyone that you know that's playing, is picking up after themselves and not leaving garbage for everybody. The places that we go to, a lot of them are memorials, and a lot of them are very special to different cities for different reasons, and they're very special to different people for different reasons. So be respectful, make sure everything's clean when you leave that you're responsible for. And if you're going to bring around garbage bags, awesome, I like you. I hope you all have a great weekend, have fun catching Pokemon, I know I will. Bye. A couple pro tips from today. Make sure that your cameras either plugged in or have a full battery. And make sure your sewing machine is actually reliable. So another pro tip from today is number 3. Make sure you know what you're doing before you do it.